Well, actually, the truth be told, you know, you don't always get everything out in the facts out. I haven't taken a pay raise since 2007. Now, obviously, under the Constitution and the Attorney General's opinion, myself as well as the other constitutional officers were required to take that. We could not reject it like the legislature can. That was one of the things that we had hoped to achieve this session. We didn't. Did the rejection. We didn't get that achieved, but myself and I know Lieutenant Governor Little and Superintendent Tom Luna have continued to take that extra money that we were given since 2007 in pay increases, by the way, which was decided many, many years ago, and have given that to educational institutions or a choice of organizations that need the money.
Governor, you mentioned the reaffirming Idaho's sovereignty as one of the successful achievements. What exactly is the message that, and anybody who wants to jump in on this, what exactly is the message that the state lawmakers want to send to the federal government? Some people have said they see a contradiction in maybe the state lawmakers telling the federal government that keep their nose out of our business, but boy, we'd sure love that F-35 here.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you draw the line between?
Well, I think at the whole of it is that we're asking them to operate their budgets, makes their decisions on spending taxpayers' monies the way we have in Idaho. And certainly if they find the best bounce for their buck in expending the money for the F-35 and the development of the Joint Strike Fighter, they're going to find that Idaho's the best place to have it. And so if you're, I don't see anything hypocritical in that at all. Obviously, I mean, where does the money come from in the first place?
Governor, there's been some talk that perhaps next year with the reserves gone and most of the rainy day funds tapped, that a tax increase, or at least the possibility of one, you know, maybe on the table next year to help pay for some of Idaho's needs. That was pretty much ruled out at the beginning of this session. Would you rule that out for the beginning of next session?
Brian, we're going to continue to do everything we can. We've pretty well structured it. Lieutenant Governor Little is heading up our economic development in every quarter of the state that we can possibly help the economy grow. And so we're going to continue to try to grow. That question would probably be answered a little bit later on, whether or not there's going to be some consideration of not only the exemptions that are now in place. As I told you in press conferences before, we have put values to those. And you know, if you remove an exemption from one exempted class right now, how much money will that really bring in? And to get to the large areas, or the large resource revenue areas, there's some pretty substantial effects on the economy. The producers is one that I always hear a lot about, and you know, right now we're competing in a pretty tough world for that marketplace shelf space with our farm products, with all the products that we make in the state of Idaho, and some of those margins are less than 5%, less than 6%. You add an additional 6% onto the production cost by adding sales tax onto it. Suddenly, we're out of the market. Suddenly, we're no longer competitive. So we got to be careful, and we've got to watch those moves that we will make on looking for additional resources to make sure that we don't adversely impact the economy when we do that.